Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a part that goes invisible and can collect false whenever you touch it. So you see this a lot on hobbies. They'll have like a stairwell or something that you run up kind of in a spiral pattern, and all the bricks disappear behind you. And if you stay on one too long, you'll fall through. So this is the kind of thing I'm doing today. So first you want to get a brick here and make it anchored, and then you're going to want to insert a script inside of it. Okay. So now we have the script inside here, and we're going to want to use our untouched function to see if a part touches it. So you'll do script.parent.touched connect function, and then the part that touches it is inside here. That's called a parameter if you haven't seen my previous videos. So next you're going to want to see if a character is touching that, and the way you do that is you see if what touching it is a humanoid. So you'll do local humanoid equals part.parent find first child humanoid. Okay, and every player has a humanoid inside of it. So this should work. The same thing is used for a lava brick, except it just sets the humanoid health to 0. So I covered that in an earlier video. But so here, now we're going to use an if statement. So we'll do if humanoid, then, and then so that says if the humanoid exists, then it continues. If not, then it's probably just some other part touching it and it gets ignored. So now inside of this if statement, we're going to start manipulating the part. And I like to do that with a for statement, because if you just hard code it, then it's going to be like 10 more lines. Okay, so you'll do I equals 1, comma 10, do. Okay, what this does is it just runs 10 times. So it starts at 1, goes to 10. And you'll do script.parent.transparency plus equals 0.1. And what this does right here is it adds 0.1 to the transparency. And once the amount reaches 1, it's completely transparent. Okay, so every time this for loop runs, it becomes a 10th more transparent, if that makes sense. Okay, and you'll also want to add a wait statement in here. We'll do like 0.05 seconds, and so that means that the whole thing, it'll become transparent in half a second. Okay, and I think that's probably ample time for a player to jump off of the part, but you can edit that how you want and it won't affect anything. I mean, you can make it 100 seconds and it would be a really long time before it completely goes invisible. Okay, and then once it's completely transparent, it'll go outside of this in statement and go here. So here we're going to put script.parent.canCollide equals false. And what this does is it makes it to where parts can fall through it. So like say I set the base plate can collide false, my player would just fall through it over and over and would continuously spawn. So doing this right here means it goes invisible, and then your player can fall through it. So it makes sense, how your player can't touch an invisible brick. That'd be confusing, right? So now we're here, and here's a good place to implement a debounce. So I'm going to make a global debounce variable. Local debounce equals false. Okay, and then we'll do if debounce equals false, then, and then we'll place an end right here, and then we'll format the script to make it look nicer. Okay, and then we'll set the debounce equals true, and then maybe we'll do like a wait 5, and then script.parent.transparency equals 0, script.parent.canCollide equals true. Okay, so then basically what this does is it makes it slowly go invisible, and then once it's invisible, your player can fall through, and then it waits 5 seconds, puts the brick back to where it was. So, back to where they can jump on stuff. It will work. Okay, so now the last step we're going to do is set that debounce to false again. And so then it'll be able to continuously run. And the reason we have a debounce here is because when a brick is invisible, the player can still touch it and the touch function will still fire. So that means like say if we didn't have a debounce here, then the player could continuously touch it and the part would flash like in and out of existence because it would be confused. It could just be triggered while it's invisible, which is obviously not something that you want. So that's why we do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and test this out. I'm gonna make it a little bit more square so I can jump on top of it. And there it goes. So it kind of slowly fades out. Nothing too complex, pretty simple. Like, I don't know how many lines it was, probably around 10. But it looks pretty nice. No, actually it's 18. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do to make it look better. I mean, you could change the increment, although it would probably be a little bit laggier FPS wise and not very good for the server. But say you wanted it to like really look fire, and this would be like really excessive. You could change the for loop to be like 100, and then it would be 0.01, I think. You could change the weight to be like 0.01, and then you could do this. We'll see if this works. It probably won't. I probably made like a mathematical error here. But it would disappear like near the same rate or something like that. Yeah, it's I definitely messed something up. But see, yeah, you see how like slow it disappeared. So clearly I made a mathematical error there though. But if I were you, I would just keep it to that base 10 and then the 0.1. And then you could have this weight be 0.05. If you wanted it to disappear faster, you could do like 0.02. We'll see what that looks like. So still not too terribly fast. I think it wouldn't be too terribly hard for the player to jump off of that. It's entirely up to you. There's a bunch of little stuff that you can do, like maybe you want to make a little kind of windy staircase, right? This isn't going to look great. Very base of the line. This is not a building video. There we go. So that's not too terrible, right? You kind of get the idea. So now it's a little staircase type thing that we can walk up, and they all disappear behind you. So pretty neat overall. But this will work fairly well for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you guys learned something.